Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to the channel. Well, today is finally, the time has finally come. I did get the bumper done last night. I've got it painted and cleared, and I did put it on my truck. Not 100% happy with it. I kind of screwed it up last night. I put it on there, and unbeknownst to me, it was not supposed to rain last night. I thought it was 100% cured, but I guess it wasn't. So, here we go, boys. We're going to check her out. I think you did see I got my summer tires and wheels on. What do you think? It looks pretty good from a distance. So we can look at her from a distance. But what I'm talking about is I didn't know it was supposed to rain last night. And you can see how all the raindrops put marks all over the top of this clear coat. Now I can wet sand them, buff them out, but that just takes more work and more time. So I'm not certain what I'm going to do yet, but this is even lighter than what the grill and the bumper match up pretty good. But the grill, the bumper, and the bed, not at all. So I don't know what color primer he used on the bed. If he used, there we go. If he used a black primer, that's gonna make that color a lot darker than me using the gray primer. So I'm gonna get with him and figure out what I'm going to do to try and remedy the issue, because I don't like the way it looks, and all it's done is set me back further. I guess I should have, I don't know. I assumed he used gray primer. The top, I've put the paint away, but the top of the can, he, when I went and picked up my truck and he gave me the paint that was left, he said that he used, he put 3 coats on the bed. So that's what I did on the bumper and the grill, and it's not even close. So I'm kind of venturing, and I didn't ask him about what color primer he used. So I'm going to venture to say that he probably used a black primer. Or a darker primer, whether it be black, red, or gray. Those are the only 3 colors I know about. And well, the bed comes in, the panel that came in was black, so I don't know. I got to get with him tomorrow and figure out what is going on. So yeah, so reveal day was kind of a but and then also a double because of the damn rain last night. Yeah, I didn't even know it was supposed to rain. There was nothing on the radar. There was nothing even showing on the hourly, and all of a sudden I heard it downpouring. And yeah, you saw the rest. Anyway, what we got tonight is we got the caddy in here. Gonna get it jacked up. Gonna get the tires off the front and see what we can't get accomplished on it. This to lift the front up is kind of a challenging issue because there is no cross member up front to lift it. There really isn't a way to jack the front of the truck up the whole thing at once. So I gotta go under the frame on one side and put a jack stand under it, and then go over the frame on the other side and put a jack stand under it. So unless I try and run something all the way across, but these horns, this pan rolls back so far that you can't get a board across or something across to be able to lift just the whole front of the truck up. So I don't know, we'll see what we can do, just lift one side or the other. Alright, to my surprise, these front brakes are in really good shape. There's quite a bit of pad left on these pads, or quite a bit of surface left on these pads on both sides. So, excuse me, I think we're just going to go ahead and try and take the pads and the rotors that we have back and then put that money towards something else, because These are in really, really good shape. To get this rotor off, looks like there's an Allen wrench on the back side. Alright, I had to do a battery change. With the caliper hung up and out of the way, I just pulled the brake pads out of the bracket here. Gonna leave the bracket on. I really don't need to remove it. The disc is held on by just one Phillips screw right here on the hub. I got the bolts out of the top of the strut, so now we're just going to take these bottom bolts off of the strut. Alright, with those out of the way, we can get ready and put the new Raceland coilovers in. But I do have all these joints here that I want to replace too. And I also have a new ball joint for the bottom. Alright, I did have to take the disc brake caliper off because there is a bolt down here that kind of sandwiches on top of this lower ball joint. If you're just doing the Raceland coilovers themselves, you don't need to take this off, but since I'm going to go through, I've got new ball joints and I have all new bushings up in here and back there. These lower control arms are going to come off so I can press in all the new bushings. So right now I guess I'll just have to loosen that up and lift this spindle up and move it to the side. And I've already got this bolt out. Figured out that I had to take this apart to lift it up and off the ball joint, and then there's two bolts back in there, and then I can take this lower control arm off and get the new bushings put in, maybe get some paint on that. So this project is not going to be finished tonight. Alright, I had that lower control arm out. From the factory, the ball joints are riveted in, so I'm going to have to grind off all these rivets and knock them out, either on the top side or the bottom side. Got to drive out these bushings and then drive in the new ones. So it's going to be fun times, because these are stuck on there pretty good. They've been on there for a while. So I'm really not sure how I'm going to get them out, but I have new ones, so we're going to put new ones in. This is pretty straightforward. Just grind off the rivet heads, the heads of the rivets, and take that out, put the new one in there, and it does come with hardware, nuts and bolts to put the new ball joint back in. I did get the strut taken apart also. This is the bushing that you need for the top of the strut tower. To go up in for the new ones. So I did have to take the old assembly apart to be able to utilize this piece in the new assembly. Alright, that took just a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. I just have the one side tore apart and the ball joint off the one side. What I ended up doing was all these rivets, I couldn't grind off one side and pound them out with the hammer. It just was bouncing too much. So I actually had to take and drill them out. So that worked out pretty good. I was able to get them out pretty fast. After grinding the one side off, I center punched it, did a pilot hole, and then grabbed the next size up, and they come right out for me. So I have everything off. I have some paint on that. Next thing I got to do is put the new bushings in. The way I was able to get that back bushing out was to cut it off flush and put the collar in my vise and just kept turning it and kept putting some of the crown penetrant on there, and was able to get it broke free and out of there. the old one that was on that side, it was down here like this. I was able to just drive it off with a punch. Because they are steel reinforced, so it drove off fairly easy. I did spray some of that crown down in there too. So for right now, it's time to go in and get my hairpiece. It's time to go in and get a shower and pretty much call it a night. Here's the new ball joints. They are in the box. This is some of that more of that stuff from Parts Place. This is that new old stock I was telling you about. So these are pretty nice. They're basically just a factory replacement. So I'll get those on there, and tomorrow hopefully get this buttoned up and get her back on the ground. I think I am going to go ahead and return the discs and the pads and put that money towards some tires and wheels. Still have not found any yet. You know what? You know how I'm big on customer service. This guy, Diamond Race Wheels, I have called them 3 times now with no return phone call. I wanted some questions, you know, I had some questions about putting what offset to get for, you know, putting these coilovers on there, you know, where I'm going to be at as far as touching, rubbing, any of them issues. And the secretary says, I'll make sure he calls you. All 3 days, I'll make sure he calls you. Well, 3 days in a row and no phone calls. So pretty much Diamond Smoothies. Yeah, I'm doing that a lot tonight. Diamond Race Wheels, not very impressed with their customer service. I want those wheels. I would like to have those wheels on the truck, but I'm not impressed with the customer service thus far. I don't know if they don't want to help me. They have no desire to help me. I have no idea, but it'd be nice to get some customer service in this day and age. So, you know, it started with me and Fast. I was very, very impressed. AirDog subscribed to my channel the other day. I thought that was very, very cool. AirDog is just right next door to me in Indiana, closer to Indianapolis. I'm in Ohio. They're just about 2.5 hours, 3 hours away from me. I got an email saying, congratulations, AirDog has subscribed to your channel. So I thought that was very, very commendable and very cool. So, you know, I've told you guys in the past, AirDog will be the next lift pump on my truck. And I'm actually trying to figure out how I can put an AirDog on the caddy. But these only require about 5 pounds of fuel pressure. That's why there's, I mean, this is an aftermarket, an add-on. It really doesn't even need this. It's whatever this can push or pull from the tank is suffice. But a lot of guys will add this just to aid in helping the fuel pump or the injection pump. That way that can get just a... Oh, excuse me. Oh man, yes, I'm getting tired. That way it can aid in the getting the fuel from the tank to the injection pump. So I thought that was pretty neat. It's got the Mr. Gasket diesel fuel pump on there. So I'm thinking, I'm trying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish it or not. Be able to get the pump turned down to that 4 to 7 pounds, or yeah, 4 to 7 pounds of fuel pressure that this requires, because most of those, as you know, are up, you know, in the 15 to 20 pound range. So I don't think it can be regulated low enough for what we're going to want. So, oh well, I tried. I've talked with them probably mid-winter about possibly putting an AirDog on this, but they wasn't quite sure if it can be done. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night. If you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll see you guys next time. Later on. Bye-bye.